Hey, it's Meltdown here with actor, stuntman, and Detroiter Marty Klebba. He's going to be at Eloise Friday night between 7 and 10 for their, what do they call this Fridays?
Fandom Fridays.
Fandom Fridays, that's right. Douglas Tate was just in town. You said you know him, huh?
Yeah. We both got our start out in L.A. in summer of 2000. So.
Oh, really? So that's how long you've been out there?
Yep, I was out there. I mean, I left Hollywood in 2021. For whatever reasons, but we don't want to go there. So.
Well, it's funny because you're gonna be at Eloise coming up, and you were actually in a movie called Eloise.
Yeah, it was about Eloise. Yeah, so the funny thing is we didn't shoot it at Eloise. We shot it at the Masonic Temple down in Detroit.
No kidding.
Yeah. So
oh wow. Okay, I gotta go back and check it out. How was that movie?
I never saw it.
Okay. Do you watch your stuff at all?
No, I don't, because I don't like my voice. So, like, hearing my voice, I sound like a whiny little, girl. So, yeah, I just kind of like nails at a chalkboard.
Nah. So. That's funny. I guess you couldn't do what I do then, huh?
No, I would love to do what you do. I need to have my own podcast, what I need to do. So.
Yeah, there you go. What would it be called?
Something unfiltered, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
I don't have a filter.
So people may or may not know, but you grew up in Troy.
Yep, I grew up in Troy, went to Athens High School, and then went on to Oakland Community College and decided that really wasn't my thing and moved to New York for a little while. Did Broadway for about 10 years and then finally made the move to L.A. in summer of 2000 and got a lucky break.
Well, so how do you go from, what were you taking in college? Were you taking acting?
Actually, when I went to college, I went for criminal justice.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't until halfway through my second year that the professor was like, you can't be a cop, right? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, yeah, the military and police departments, they can discriminate. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, you have to be a certain size, both. You can't be too tall and you can't be too small. Now they can't do that, so... the military can still discriminate, but police departments can't. So
yeah.
Now I'm just a huge cop guy.
Okay, and there you go. So you move out to Los Angeles. What was your first gig?
Well, I actually did something way back before I moved out there called The Hannah Rocks a Cradle. I stunt doubled the little girl.
I remember that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, with Ernie Hudson and Rebecca De Mornay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then my first kind of really cool thing was. Planet of the Apes with Mark Wahlberg, and then just kind of snowballed. And next thing I knew, I was doing Haunted Mansion and this other movie at the same time. And somebody said, "Hey, they're going to be doing a movie about the ride on at Disney called Pirates of the Caribbean." And I'm like, "Well, I'm already doing the other one called Haunted Mansion."
Yeah.
And they thought that was going to be the big blockbuster, Eddie Murphy, the whole thing, and. I'm like, nah, I'm too busy, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, no, you should put your name in with the stunt coordinator. And so I did. And, luckily, here I am, almost 30 years later. Well, almost 30 years later, I'm still doing, pirate stuff. So
now, do you have, are you in a movie, a Seven Dwarfs movie coming up?
Yeah, I did the new Snow White that comes out in March of 2025. Yeah. So I actually am doing the voice for Grumpy.
Okay. Oh, that's an animated thing.
Yeah, it's a live action, except for the Seven Dwarfs and the animals are all animated. So you can see that. There's already out there a teaser trailer that they have online and stuff like that. So we have Gal Gadot as our evil witch. She's amazing, and this girl Rachel Ziegler, who's amazing. She was in West Side Story. And a bunch of other stuff. I think Hunger Games maybe or something like that. But she's amazing as well as Snow White. So it's a great Disney film. I recommend everybody go see it. So.
Now I suppose back in the day in 2000 when you went out there, you kind of had to be in Hollywood or whatever. But now you really don't have to be, right?
Exactly. Nowadays it's like you get an audition. I have a voice audition for tomorrow. I'll just do it on my phone and I'll send it in. But otherwise, it's video. You film yourself, load it up, send it to the casting director, and it just matters if you have a good agent who's getting you the auditions and stuff. Because you still got to have the in to know about the breakdowns, and you also get to the point where there's just direct offers and stuff like that. Most of the days Now I just have like direct offers, like, hey, we're interested in having him do this or do that, and so
yeah, I suppose between your agent and the fact that you've done this for 20 plus years, yeah, it kind of falls in your life. If you were to start today, it'd be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, today it's, I get people asking me all the time, like, what's it like, or how do I get into it? What kind of? I'm like, man, I have no advice for you because I wouldn't know where to start today. All I can tell you is you got to have a great agent, and and the flip side of that is agents want people who they already know are have cut their teeth on something, or just because you're pretty doesn't mean you can act, or just because you can act doesn't mean you're pretty, and what they're looking for. So it's not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, looking for the total package.
Exactly.
So you're going to be at Eloise coming up on a Friday night, like we just talked about. You made a movie. I didn't realize that movie was actually about Eloise. I have to go back and check that out. So have you been to the actual Eloise before?
Nope. Tomorrow will be my first time, so I'm a little spooked out too. I'm gonna take the haunted house tour and see what it's all about. I mean, I know basically what happened there back in the day, and it's some pretty wild stuff that happened back.
Well, I told Douglas about this. I'll tell you, but we captured. I was there on August 7th. I was there 3 times.
Okay.
Like investigating, with
Yeah.
people and whatnot. And man, we caught some crazy noise screams. I don't know what they were, but I'll play them for you before you leave here. I got this like 25-second clip and it was pretty wild. And as I sit here right now, I don't know what it was.
Yeah, isn't that weird? I mean, just think about like things that have gone on, and like if you were there for that moment, like what kind of things people have gone through in their lives and have been tortured or just mistreated, and I mean stuff like that goes on all around the world in different aspects of life too. Like I used to help. Well, I still do get dwarf children adopted from around the world, and there's places like in China where if you're born different and the family looks at you like, hey, you're not gonna. They think you won't be able to do anything as far as helping to earn and bring money to the family. You're put away in an adoption, or to an orphanage, and I've seen kids where they've been handcuffed together and then one handcuffed to a crib.
Ugh.
So so that you can't get out and stuff like that. So just it blows me. I mean, things that people do with their animals, and imagine like they do that to people as well.
Right.
It's sick.
And so that's your organization that you have, your foundation?
Yeah, one of them. I used to be called CODA. So now I just get just raise money, and then I just try to directly help people that are adopting straight up, instead of going through having a 501c can be a little bit daunting after a while. So now it's just, hey, if I know somebody's adopting, I just try to raise money for that particular family.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
Well, you picked a good time to come back to town, of course, with the as we record this, the Tigers tonight, the Red Wings tonight. Are you going to either one of those games?
Oh yeah, we're gonna go to the Red Wings tonight.
Oh, you are? Okay,
yeah.
cool.
So yeah, but I'm there's nothing more that I miss than sitting out and in Troy when I was a kid growing up, listening to the old ball game with my grandpa, listening to Ernie Harwell, and like Tiger baseball. Just like, man, I'd give anything to just listen to the old team, and I'm real proud of the team that we have now, and so I'm hoping they go all the way. I'd love it to be Detroit against the Mets, and my buddy Steve Grillo, who used to be on the Stern Show, we're gonna hook up if that happens. So
yeah, is he in a band?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm thinking of someone else. Yeah, I've heard that name before. But yeah,
Steve Grillo. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that's cool. So you follow all the Detroit stuff from
Oh
far.
yeah, I'm still a Detroit guy. I mean, I've been a Detroiter and a Michigan Wolverine. I root for the Spartans as long as they're not playing Michigan.
Right, yeah.
But I mean, growing up, my favorite athlete was Kirk Gibson. So I have 2 baseball cards at home. One of them is Kirk Gibson catching a football in Michigan State, and then the other one is him and Steve Garvey when they both played baseball for Michigan State. So
Steve
yeah.
Garvey did too, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
So have you
absolutely.
met Kirk Gibson before?
Oh yeah, I just got done doing his golf outing probably about 6 weeks ago here out in Rochester.
Oh,
and,
okay.
we helped raise money for Parkinson's, and it was cool. In my foursome, I had Lance Parrish. So for 18 holes, I was in his ear just talking about some of the greats back in the day and all that stuff.
Now, last time I met Kirk Gibson, it was with John Five. He's now the guitar player for Motley Crue, and he's from the He's from the East Side.
Oh, well, wow.
Yeah, he grew up St. Clair somewhere, St. Clair Shores. But anyways, well, last time I talked to John or I interviewed him, I can't remember what we were doing, but I asked him if he ever had a paranormal experience. He went through this whole thing about how he did at his house in Los Angeles. So I'll ask you the same thing. Have you ever had a paranormal experience since you're going to be at Eloise this weekend? Or none that you know of?
Oh, thank God. Well, no, I mean, I've people can believe you or they don't, but I have died twice. And one of them, I do remember, we were in Ireland, and I remember I'm on the table, and I'm looking down at myself, and they're going to town trying to bring me back, and I could see my wife over in the doorway crying in hysterics outside the emergency room right there, and I'm like, babe, I'm fine, I'm good, and the next thing I know, I was back, and but I remember looking over and seeing the machine go, boo, the whole thing, and you're just like, you don't believe it until it actually happens to you. So
when you came back too, did you ask her if she was by the door?
No, I came back too, and they're working on me, and then she was by the door.
You saw her there,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, she was there. So
what was the other time?
I had a chopper that Johnny Depp had made for me. It was called the Black Pearl, and it was during COVID, and I was just taking it out for a ride, and no one had ever told me about a death wobble. So I'm cruising. I'm hit about 30 miles an hour. All of a sudden, the bike started shaking really bad, and so I started to slow down. And I guess that's the wrong thing to do. And you're supposed to speed up during a death wobble. And I ended up hitting a tree doing 30.
Ugh.
And I was fine. Then I'm walking around and I broke the ball off my left femur. But when they went to take me into surgery to reattach it, the idiot anesthesiologist guy, is that the right thing?
Yeah, anesthesiologist, yeah.
He overdid it, and I guess I died. I don't remember that one, but when I woke up later on, I was like, so we're all good? And she's like, no, you died on the table. They had to bring you back. So your surgery is now going to be tomorrow. So, yeah, they had to, reevaluate everything with your height and your weight and stuff like that. So,
yeah, of course. Yeah, that's the whole thing with anesthesiology.
I'm like, yeah, duh, right? Yeah, I'm not a 4-year-old. I'm 54 years old, so yeah.
Oh, so that was recently?
Yeah, it was actually, I was like 52. Yeah, it was the summer of 21. Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's cool. Well, you're going to be at Eloise, like we said, for Friday night for their Fandom Fridays. And what else do you have coming up on next year? We talked a little bit about the Snow White. What else you got coming up?
We also have a movie with Millie Bobby Brown, Chris Pratt, Stanley Tucci, and Woody Harrelson called The Electric State.
Oh, wow.
It's
yeah, I saw that,
yeah. So it's awesome. I play Chris Pratt's robot sidekick, and his name is Herman, and they're all amazing. I love Chris Pratt. I've worked with him a couple times, and him and Johnny Depp probably my two favorite actors to ever work with. But Millie Bobby Brown was awesome, and it was cool because she was dating John Bon Jovi's kid, Jacob.
That's right.
So watch that romance bud, and now
they got
they're
married, right?
Yeah, they're married.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of cool. Just like I'm like, dude, the first time I ever had, I was one of your dad's songs, like shit. 35 years later, here I am.
I know, it's crazy how this world works, man.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's really cool. So you get to hang out with some pretty big stars. What's Johnny Depp like? I never met him. I remember I interviewed Matt Sorum, and I think Matt was one of the guys that told me that he actually went to Hollywood to become a rock star.
Yeah, he
and
did.
someone spotted him and said, you should be an actor.
Yeah, Nick Cage.
Yeah.
So Nick Cage is actually the one who turned him on to, his first movie was Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's Glenn. And then, obviously 21 Jump Street and everything. But, Johnny's killing it. No matter what Johnny touches, he kills it. So, the Hollywood Vampires, I'm dying to go see that myself. So, Alice Cooper and Joe Perry, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Joe Perry, he hops on it periodically.
Okay.
Robert from Stone Temple Pilots hops on it periodically. It's Matt Sorum, obviously. Guys like that. I think Dean DeLeo every once in a while. It's a little bit of a rotating thing, but yeah, it's Alice, Johnny Depp, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I love it. I'm dying to see it, so I'm just waiting for it to come through Knoxville or somewhere down or if it comes back up through here, I'll fly up for it, to come see him in Detroit. Cause
what rock star guys do you know?
I knew Gene and Paul from Kiss. I did a promo thing with them back in the day for Psycho Circus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was really weird because I was doing we were doing a Broadway tour for Madison Square Garden, and they happened to be, this was in like 99, they were in makeup, and my friend and I were backstage. I just wanted to see the iconic, where they come walking out of the dressing room, right? And Gene was like, Marty! And so they grabbed me, wouldn't let me go, and he made the stagehands bring 2 chairs up onto the stage. So me and my friend Steve sat stage right next to Gene Stacks and watched the Kiss concert in front of all of Madison Square Garden. So it's like, this is the band I was forbidden to listen to when I was a kid because they thought, oh, they're devil worshippers. My dad was like, I'm like, no. I'm like, Gene's one of the smartest men you'll ever meet. He could have been a rabbi. He knows the Bible inside and out. I'm like, it's just all a gimmick, but they make great music. So yeah.
Yeah, we're the same age, and I remember growing up, around, listening to all that stuff.
I partied with David Lee Roth a couple times. Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
It's his birthday today. You should send him a text.
Oh, I will, dude. Yeah, that guy's the best. He took off 3 years and was a New York City EMT.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
I guess when you got that kind of cash, you can do whatever you want, right?
Can you imagine waking up in the back of an ambulance and there's Crazy Dave? Hey!
I could just imagine what kind of stuff he'd be telling you. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry about it. We'll get some girls in here.
Yeah. He came in here one time with his security guy, Ed. This was back in our building across the street, and he talks about Ed a lot. Did you ever meet?
No, I haven't met Ed.
So Ed's this typical, New York City guy.
Yeah.
Kind of gruff,
I think I've seen him in one of the. Is he bald? Big arms or no?
I can't remember. He'd slick his hair back, and stuff. And it was so cool just to, and he kept going back and forth between the studio and the microwave, warming up sake for Dave and Art at the time, Art Penhollow.
Oh, okay, yes, I remember.
Arthur.
Yeah, I remember.
That was like
Art.
96 or something. It was great. And then I read his book, and he's, it's all about Ed and him and travels and, the whole thing. So
what's funny is everybody thought back in the day during the Van Halen days that you'd see, David with a big old bottle of Jack, right? That was always just tea. He'd make it look like he was breaking it open on stage, but they were like, all the guys in the back were like, no, Dave's a genius. He's not stupid. He's not going to go out there and drink a whole bottle of Jack when all these people are spending money. But we as, concert goers are like, dude, this guy's awesome, right? But, yeah, it was always just tea.
Well, I've heard some crazy stories about Eddie actually drinking the real stuff and, or more wine, I guess.
Yeah.
He's done some crazy stuff backstage.
Yeah.
But, hey, Marty, great to see you, man. We'll let you fly here. Of course, go Tigers, go Wings, and we'll see you at Eloise for a Friday night with their Friday Night Fandom. So good luck with that, okay?
Hey, you too, man. Thank you.